Okay, speaking of people potentially getting treated unfairly. So, I'm not sure if y'all heard about this. This was quite the story for this young athlete. Salute the spiritual word. They posted teen track star strips of state title after recreating Olympic icon fire extinguisher celebration. Oof. So Clara Adams, a 16-year-old track star from North Salinas High, won the 400-meter event at a CIF state championship at the time of her 53.24 seconds, but she was stripped of her title due to an unsportsmanlike celebration involving a fire extinguisher, a gesture inspired by sprint icon, how do you say that name?
Maurice.
Maurice Green. So let's actually listen to the video because it kind of really spells it all. Again, apologies in advance for the quality. Again, the video will be in the description below.
I worked so hard for that title.
The greatest moment of 16-year-old Clara Adams' young career taken away from her because of a celebration. After winning the 400-meter event at the CIF State Championships with a time of 53.24 seconds, her dream of winning a state title went up in flames after celebrating using a fire extinguisher.
When she blew the fire extinguisher, the opponents were gone. That was our moment of celebration. And the CIF officials made that about them. The crowd went crazy. They loved it. The booth, CF booth went crazy. They loved it. But those few guys in those jackets, they took offense to it, didn't like it, and they made a decision based on emotions.
The North Salinas High sophomore grabbed a fire extinguisher from her father and coach and extinguished off her spikes. The CIF deemed her celebration unsportsmanlike, stripping her of her title. It's a celebration made famous by American sprint icon Maurice Green, who enjoyed her paying homage to him and thinks she should get her state title back.
When I heard, like, because it happened and then people just started calling me, oh, this girl who just won the 400 redid your celebration. I was like, huh, what? If it was away from everyone and not really interfering with anybody, I would say reinstate her.
So there you have it. I'm glad we watched it and got the full context because I think a lot of people or some people could like just watch like the highlight of the story to this young girl did the celebration and like got stripped of the title and think maybe that was acceptable. But a lot of people, or again, some people may not have known like they were doing this based off an actual like whole professional athlete that did it, and also that athlete is doesn't really have any problem with it. But just because the guy that actually kind of made it like invented it has no problem with it, maybe somebody on here does. So that's the basic story. It's unfortunate, no matter which way you feel, because they did work incredibly hard. Like, obviously, this is. I mean, not that time is incredibly just incredible for their age, and they obviously had to train a tremendous amount. So for their work to effectively, mean nothing because they got stripped of their title, that's obviously going to be like a punch in the gut, no matter which way you feel about it. But I guess the question is, does anyone here feels that there's some level of justification for it? And you already know I'm going to start off with. I'm interested to hear your take, Ghost. What do you think? Do you think there is a world in which these type of celebratory acts are too much, especially when there's use of props and stuff? Do you think it does warrant some level of punishment? I'm curious to know what you think.
No. If it was affecting any other competitors, then maybe there's some justification there, but yeah. No, this is just people, the officials got in their feelings and they decided they wanted to make it about them. That's really my takeaway. So yeah, no justification in my opinion, and I definitely think it should be reinstated. Like there is a boundary or a limit as far as like respecting competitors and something like that, and not showing people up. But it was done away from anyone else. It wasn't like she was in anyone's face. But like you talk about competitive, like you see in friggin' youth basketball, high school basketball, AU basketball, like kids will be literally shoving other players and
Okay,
in
they're disrespectful.
faces, and yeah, I mean it's definitely disrespectful, but you don't hear any signs or notions of disqualification. I think it's just officials get so protective and so like they want to feel involved and feel like they're maintaining the integrity of a sport or something that they take it way too far. Like I think a good equivalency is baseball in that they have these quote unquote unwritten rules that are pretty stupid and arbitrary, and it's just because people don't like getting their feelings hurt, and it's not doesn't have any basis in anything like real or like tangible. It's just again kind of a spur of the moment whim thing. Like, does this person feel like they're being disrespected or something like that? So, I think it's something along the lines of that is what we're seeing here. But I definitely do not think there's any justification for this, and um, yeah, it's kind of just like seriously, this is what we're doing.
So you don't think this is unsports? You don't think that was unsport? Something like this was unsportsmanlike at all?
No, because talk about unsportsmanlike. The when something's unsportsmanlike, and I think it's actually justifiable, is when it's like actively taunting a competitor and like doing something like that's explicitly trying to embarrass or show them up. And if you're not doing that, then it's the sport is the sport. Like if unsportsmanlike, if you're not doing that, is like she was running in someone else's lane trying to interfere, but the race was over. It's already done. She won, and the celebration, as long as it's not impacting a competitor, shouldn't come into play as far as stripping her of a title for that. It's kind of ludicrous in my
Well, in the
opinion.
context of doing something in a celebratory fashion, and you kind of give parameters, which I appreciate. But can you think of an example of something that would be unsportsmanlike?
In the context of a
Some,
celebration,
yeah, celebration you do after.
um,
Because it wasn't. I don't know if it was a big thing, but that was a thing in the NFL for a while. No, that they were kind of like they were trying to clamp down on that stuff.
Yo, Key and Peele did a sketch about it.
sorry, what'd you say, Ace?
I said Key and Peele did a sketch about it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can think of some examples where there's unsportsmanlike behavior that warrants a penalty or maybe even a fine, but not anything that actually impacts the game itself. Like in the NFL, for example, the probably the biggest thing that they've targeted or cracked down on is when players are scoring touchdown, like they wave the peace sign at the opponent or something like that, which is definitely taunting and it's definitely worthy of a penalty. But even that you can score the touchdown, you just don't. You just get a penalty enforced afterwards. So even that, it's not affecting who actually wins the game at the end of the day.
So it seems like you're not in agreement at all with the way they went about the punishment. But do you think there's a world in which if they did some level of quote unquote unsportsmanlike celebration, that there should be some penalty though?
If it was something very egregious, then I think yes. But for this, like maybe a warning, maybe that. But you're not gonna find a high school kid who just won something because that'd be again just way over the top. And it wasn't, to my knowledge, it wasn't like there was some type of moratorium or like penalty already kind of set in stone
Yeah,
where
there's no reason to
you were
assume that.
warned about this before and you were told you were going to get disqualified and now you did it. It seems like it was just the spur of the moment. They decided to do
It
it
wasn't the
now.
spur of the moment. It was a planned thing, but
No, I'm saying the disqualification, not the
yeah,
celebration.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
So
that's actually kind of funny. Not funny, but they brought that fire extinguisher to this event. What if they didn't win?
I mean, it shows the confidence. Like I respect it. I think like let's say they had the fire extinguisher and she was all up in another girl's face and like blew, she discharged the fire extinguisher like an opponent and said like you're trash or something like that. Maybe then I'd say like okay, that's over the top and be worthy of a punishment. And that's like the absolute worst case scenario. Like not gonna happen in real life. But beyond that, it's like I can't co-sign it at all.
Got you. This I don't want to play too much referee devil's advocate, but I think there kind of is some pushback to give about like they're commenting on, and you're even making the case like this is a matter of like somebody got on their feelings. That's just something that's hard to prove because no one's ever going to proclaim like the reason why we doled out this ruling is because of I felt personally offended. Like um
Yeah,
I
it's
think you can make the case that there is if we never read it, but if you're actually looking like the the fine print of some of these rules and regulations, maybe there is something to the effect of like like over the top, and obviously there's probably some level of subjectivity with even in that, but over the top displays of celebration are like not acceptable or something like that.
I mean, there's no objective way to prove that someone is that the judges are in the feelings or something like that. But it's like when you see a judgment levied like this again, no warning, no statement like this was unacceptable, but you
Well,
still
they
get
do.
the title.
I don't know if you guys how often you guys go to a sporting event, but they do say make sure everybody's being sportsmanlike.
Yeah, they say that, but again, I'm 100% certain there's definitely no explicit statement in the rule book like you can't do X, Y, and Z to celebrate because it's an obscure case. It's a judgment call most of the time. And I know how these referees and how these officials work, and they feel like if you're disrespecting the sanctity of their sport or whatever, then they take it personal, even though they would never admit to that, and it's not anything provable. But it's just kind of it is how it is, and it's again an unwritten rule that if you do this in a certain way, then we have the power to do whatever we want to you, which is not how it should be, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's actually a good point. And it's not a sports podcast, so we won't delve into it. But I wonder if you can make the case that that's a needed element of sports for referees to kind of be very, very by the book. Because why do referees like go out their way to like do some of these penalties, knowing good and well like the players are gonna be upset, the audience is gonna be upset. Like I don't know, it's kind of strange
I
dynamic at
think
play there.
there is like human elements that sometimes you do need to look beyond the rule book when you're refereeing. And if you allow, even if it's not explicitly stated, if you allow players to taunt and do that, it's going to end up snowballing into something that like players will brawl on the court because referees didn't take control
Yeah,
in that manner. So there is some like outside the rule book judgment that needs to be made by referees. I just think that a lot of them take it too far, and if you're not, if your entire goal should be making sure that the game is played correctly, and that's by enforcing rules, by calling penalties or whatever, calling fouls. But beyond that, the referee should not have an impact on the game or the result of a match. So if you're getting into that level, it becomes not about the game of the players, it becomes about the referees, and that's where it gets very dicey.
yeah, no, no. I'm pretty much in agreement. Um, what about you, Wes? Do you have any other thoughts on this type of altercation? Do you think there's some level of justification for them receiving this type of punishment?
I'm pretty much in agreement with Ghost, and I think that the punishment is extreme and unjustified. But I have a, I think for me, I'm gonna say up front, I'm not a super competitive person, but I'm a really good loser.
That's a
So
wild thing
I'll put it.
to claim.
I'll put it up front. Like I'm not a bad loser. I'm not a sore loser. And so I think
There's a
that
difference between not being a bad loser and being a good loser. I think those things sound a bit different.
all right. Okay. I mean, I'm the opposite of a sore loser. I can lose. I can be even. I can withstand a good amount of taunting and not really care at the end of the day if I win or lose. Not to say that I don't try, but whatever. Either way, I think that needs to be prefaced because my opinion is based on that. I think that people need to. I think taunting. I think sportsmanship is good. I think taunting is wrong. Getting in somebody's face and being like, just whatever, I just scored on you, whatever. I think that's excessive. I think that's too much. I think people shouldn't do that, and penalties for that is fine. I think that excessive celebration penalties and having issues with that, I think that's the stupidest thing that could have ever come into sports. Like, if you are literally celebrating your victory or your success or your goal or whatever, and you're dancing because you're happy for what you just did, and you're not necessarily pointing at somebody from the other team or trying to put somebody else from the other team down expressly, then they need to get over it. Like the other team, if they feel bad, they feel bad. Like you should not be okay. Small penalties might not be that serious, but I think it shouldn't be a problem. Like excessive celebration shouldn't be a problem. At first, I thought the fire extinguisher was somewhere on the field, and she took a fire extinguisher off the wall or something. She literally brought it for her celebration. Yes. And it was about her. Like she saw the dude do. She saw it in an official race or whatever. Like Olympic icon. Like she imitated it in a school setting. Like she should have had nothing. I don't think that she should have had any penalty. She shouldn't have been stripped of the title. It's ridiculous. It's stupid to me. It's absolutely stupid to me. So yeah, excessive celebration I feel like is fine as long as, like I said, you're not directing it to anybody on the other team, and you're not I don't know if there's another event, you're not taking up excessive amounts of time from other people. If it's about you, if you're directing it toward the crowd or yourself, let it go. Like let it be. Let it be.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think a lot of people can borrow what you're saying. I will say it does make a lot more sense why you give that disclaimer, because while you could probably take any level of somebody celebrating and or maybe even taunting, what if the next guy sees you doing some celebratory thing and they're getting kind of pissed and then they start roughing you up?
But to me,
you even get the penalty.
Well, yeah. He would get
then the guy that roughs you up gets the penalty.
Obviously, but I'm just saying, and Ghost even kind of
you say that, but
Ghost even kind of alluded to it. To one of the reasons the referees might have some level of wanting to keep this in control is so everyone stays on a relatively even kilter. Like nobody, those random outbreaks don't even have a chance to come into place.
Yeah, but that's my point. In that I'm a good loser, as I said.
That's what I said. It makes sense. That's what you said.
I think that needs to be taught, and that's part of sportsmanship. That's being a good sportsman. Is not letting stuff get to you, especially if it's not even directed at you. You were worse. You have to accept that you didn't get the goal.
Good.
He got the goal.
Well,
exactly.
Y'all talking like the most objective and reasonable humans.
No, but
ever.
hold on. I'm a good loser. I know Ace is.
I'm a terrible loser.
Okay, so we're two different perspectives, but we are agreeing right now. It's not just me.
I'm just saying, it's understandable, and again, I think we can all imagine. While we wouldn't take it to that level, while we could all imagine, and it might not even manifest itself in you see somebody do a celebratory thing, and then you go over and punch them. It just might be, they think they're like that. Okay, when they try to score next time, I'm gonna be on them a little extra. And that might manifest itself. You're a bit more rougher than you need to be in that regular.
That's why I'm saying it requires a higher level of sportsmanship.
No. See,
otherwise, You're debasing or lowering the standard so that you're taking care of the people who are poor losers. Like, why should you be doing that?
I'm just
Wes. That's
you need to elevate people to a higher level of sportsmanship.
No. Okay,
This is the highest level. This isn't the highest level. This is just high school, but
like
seeing it in professional sports in particular, it's like, come on, guys, like.
In professional, that's where it's most reasonable. You guys are telling me that your entire livelihood, your entire lives, you spent being ultra competitive to the point of unhealthiness in some cases in order to reach a professional level. And when you get there, you're going to have the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. It is human nature, even if you're a good loser or whatever. You're going to be devastated. You're going to be emotional. You're going to be a crushed if you don't perform. Yes, it's okay. It's life. You're saying that is correct. But you cannot be telling me if someone, and I know that you're saying, oh, it's part of sport, being a good sportsman and all that, but there are plenty of bad sports, and you're telling me that
they shouldn't be there.
No, you can't say.
You're saying shouldn't be there.
Okay, if you're saying that bad sports shouldn't be,
if you are going to go try to strangle your opponent,
no one's saying okay.
Are you going to kill yourself because you're?
No. I'm going to give you. Wes, you're being I'm going to give you an
apologies. I was insensitive. If you are depressed,
no. Yeah. No, there's
clinically depressed.
All right, okay, yes, obviously clinically depressed. But I'm going to give you an example, Wes. In the NBA playoffs, this past season, there was a game where a team was playing very physical, and they were being, I wouldn't even say they were directly taunting the other team. They were being very exuberant and loud, and one of the players is going up for a layup, and then the other player from behind in a basketball play that was part of the sport fouled them more aggressively than needed. And it wasn't explicitly malicious. They were trying to injure them, but they were trying to kind of send a message and show that all the taunting and stuff wouldn't be tolerated. And it ended up with the player getting severely hurt, and it wasn't done on purpose. But that's still what it ended up escalating to. And you're saying that
a foul is a foul. I don't understand where the rules.
No. You can't say
a foul is a foul.
No, Wes. I'm telling you,
a foul is not good. Wes, when was the foul acceptable?
Wes, you are not a. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm the all-knowing sports thing.
No, you're trying to say that. You're trying to say that people foul on purpose for strategic reasons, right?
Yeah, there's strategic reasons, but then there's also plays. There's also fouls where it's like you might not even be explicitly meaning to hurt someone, but you're a little more reckless than you would be. And there's a lot of players that play reckless, that play with abandon, that play with a lot of energy, and it ends up negatively impacting other players on the court. So
you lack professionalism.
No.
Can we also think about the human element of this?
I'm saying that humans need to do better.
So there should be no emotion in sports. Then is what you're saying.
In general,
no emotion.
No. I didn't say that.
When I play games, when you say just be better, don't even think about it. Just focus on.
No.
That's insane.
This is the
okay.
For me, this is.
Yes, you're telling me you've never tossed a controller down in disgust when you lost a close competitive match to Smash. I know the answer is
him. I told you. I told you.
And I think we're still getting to the crux of why there's a
That's why I prefaced it by that, because I know I'm not necessarily known, but I always want people to do better. I get what you're saying, and as I said, as long as if the celebration leads to delays in the game, if the celebration is directed at people, okay. But if the person is simply happy for their own goal, their own accomplishment, and they celebrate a bit, they dance a bit, I don't see the problem. I do not. And so if the other team can't handle themselves because of that, do better. Like that's what I would like.
There's no human element here.
You're
Like,
living, you're
what do
living
you
in like
mean?
you're living in
Yes,
fantasy.
you
Ghost,
are
you
like
can't-
probably the
Ghost,
number one.
I think you're taking it to more than what Wes is saying, because really, like, when it comes down to celebrating something that you did, like, you really think that there's a version of celebration that isn't directed at the other players. You're just dancing, you do whatever, do some type of jig, whatever, but it's not directed at the other players. You think there's something that would still be worthy of being called unsportsmanlike? Like, I can't even imagine what that would be. Like, any type of dance or anything. Like, I mean, unless it's lewd or something like that,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
what would
Like,
it be?
There's you're saying
if you're
I-
that butthurt over somebody doing something for their own accomplishment, there's something wrong with you. I mean, okay. Hold on. Not to say that's not human. I'm saying that you need to manage that. The player needs to manage, and that's what I call sportsmanship. To be able
We
to
also admit that people are allowed to celebrate. It's just there's
Exactly.
some random ass threshold that's like, oh, it's too much, and it's like, again, what is this threshold? Like, it's retarded.
put a time limit on it. Fine. If we say more than 15 seconds, that's excessive. Okay, more than X amount of seconds. I get it. You're taking up time from the game. You're being distracting too much. Okay, fine. But other than that type of thing, as long if you point at somebody or choose somebody on the other team or choose multiple people on the other team to direct your thing at, okay, I can understand that's taunting. And I said taunting is unsportsmanlike. Like, it's not classy. I get why it would be unsportsmanlike, but celebration, you got to get over that if you're on the other team. For me, you got to get over that.
Man, you said, well, you guys are making a lot of sense. You just say get over it. It's just human nature for it to manifest itself, and even the little things that we could get into. Like, if we're all playing a game and somebody's like they feel themselves a little too much. Like, I think just human nature, we're all gonna start to maybe hone in. If we're all playing Halo and Ace is up 25 kills and he starts talking trash. And none of it's directed.
It's not directed at anyone. He's just saying, "I'm the best."
He's not calling us trash. He's just saying, "I'm the best." He's saying, "Running riot." He's like, he's feeling himself. We're all like, now. Okay, no, I'm gonna bring out my rocket launcher and I'm gonna aim it at Ace, even though I could maybe at someone else.
Which is, it's within the bounds of the game. So, but my point is,
so all take that and put it in. Just take that and put it on a court. That's same thing.
Within the bounds of the game.
I feel like we've had, of all the times we've played games together, I think at the end of the sessions, I am never that upset. Plus, we've taunted each other. Like, we've probably gone over the taunt line.
No.
You think we've gone over the taunt lines? Nah, we've taunted.
I'll bring that for example. Let's not get
taunted.
I feel like y'all are too wholesome and generally like
even if it was more like low key smug taunts. We've taunted, and still I can honestly say that I could probably count on my hands the number of times that I was actually more disappointed that we played the game than we didn't. Like, I feel like it was very rare. I feel like that's possible, especially if you don't go over the taunt line.
The taunt line.
I'm gonna say that, like, I was gonna say a specific name, but y'all would play games with K, and K will not be explicitly
that's like boogeyman.
rubbing it in your face But you're telling me y'all have never gotten salty and he never directed it at people? Come on now. He's probably the worst offender I know. Again, it's not like just saying I'm better than you or doing things super bad, but just that certain way of y'all.
I'm still saying there's a sportsmanship that can get beyond it. I believe in true sportsmanship.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's not drag it too much.
And to be clear, I don't believe in taunting. Like I feel like I've been pretty measured.
We
but
got
I'm
it.
still
We've heard,
strong on my stance.
We've heard that in the messaging.
Next time we play Smash, I'm just gonna start exclaiming after every stock, and we'll see how long your
Alright.
your
But
stay.
no, I be getting pissed off. I do be getting pissed off. I'm not like. I'm the
I be
opposite
get
of
pissed
that,
off
pretty
too. It's like it's part of the game. It's part of competitive. Like there's like
But
the meme gamer moment and all that, but it's part of just being when you're in it like that. You're gonna be a lot more emotionally
I think that's
volatile than
our
you would be
point, though.
usually.
yeah, you don't want people to be, especially as a professional. You don't want people to be more professional. Like I'm not quite sure.
I
The
have
thing
more
we're
understanding
saying,
for
and
professionals.
I hope that we're all somewhat seeing each other's points in this. While we're talking about the ideal scenarios in which people are just super professional and a person can celebrate all they want and not feel any way about it, I think there's a world in which you can start to understand. Okay, instead of like let's reduce some of that risk and just have a referee that's in place that kind of mitigates, like you said, it does sound like if we just kind of look at it for what it is, it's kind of like bringing down other people's satisfactions in order to maintain the general like peaceful vibe. But I can see a world in which you do that just to keep the maintain. Like we still want people to be competitive, but you gotta just make sure nobody gets crazy. I'm just saying.
I feel like it's giving
That could be.
liberties to the
That could
bad
be.
kid.
I can understand a referee coming out here and breaking down. This is why we're a little harder in maintaining that type of stuff, so we don't. So nothing gets crazy.
Or I feel like it's like lowering. I feel like it's like lowering the difficulty of like an exam because you know that there's a few bad kids in the class. Like I don't.
Hey man.
It's
I don't
literally
know.
curving scores. What do you mean? Definitely.
You bring in the. I don't think that you should be bringing the level of the.
Especially, it's
Of
not
the-
even. It's not even like value added. Like we're talking about celebrations. God. Anyway.
Okay, that can be an argument that it's more sportsmanlike to not celebrate at all. You could say that too. You could say that too, I guess. But I won't necessarily go that far because, yeah, I don't think I would be the type. The same thing, like as I gave my preface and how I am. I don't think I'm necessarily the type to celebrate that much, if I were to celebrate. But I don't know. You could make that argument,
Fair enough.
but everybody got to do better.
Ace, close out. Yeah.
Real quick, yeah. I'll just say the fire extinguisher thing. I wasn't aware of the original Olympian doing that, and so when they mentioned it here, I was like, what the heck, a fire extinguisher? When I saw it and they explained it, I was like, that's dope as hell. Like that's such a good idea to cool off the
shoes.
the sneakers. Like that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you guys got the gist of my opinion based on the other responses.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. The moral of the story is definitely give the little girl her title back. They definitely don't deserve all that because of that. Especially, I feel as if even like, I mean, I guess everyone will take a win no matter what. I feel as if even the other team would probably be like, yeah, that's not a reason for them to get disqualified. So they should definitely get the little title back in. You know, people should be allowed to celebrate as well, especially if it doesn't affect other people. But we just raised the points. There's a world in which I can understand why some referees and organizations do want to try to maintain some levels or some not civility. They want to maintain the peace. But if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next topic.